Whoa! Glenn, there's a story. Story. Here. Glenn. Story. Look. Another epic race of biblical proportions in Fort William. For the first time since 2019, we've had a race in Fort William, and yes, it was wet, it was drizzling, it's still drizzling. It's just after the race. We've missioned it up the hill to check out a section on the track because there were some juicy stories happening today. One of them happened just behind our cameraman here. But if you haven't seen the race, you put down your phone, close your laptop, just get off social media, go watch the race on the Red Bull live feed, Red Bull TV, have a look, come on back, because I got some things to tell you. So first of all, bit of self-indulgence. I raced this weekend. I didn't have any bodily issues and I actually qualified and I actually did a full race run and I finished 24th. I wasn't on the live feed, but I'm really happy with that. That's one of my best results I've had in an extremely long time, so stoked. And then continuing on that theme, bit more self-indulgence, our very own Pinkbike Racing's Amy Kenyon, our second ever World Cup, finishing the podium in 3rd place. So cool. Like, I mean, obviously I chose her to be in the team because I thought she had potential. Just didn't expect her to realise that potential so early on. So it's super cool seeing her getting on the podium at her home race. Her parents were all made up about it and tears were flowing and super cool. But anyway, right, let's move on to a little less closer to home. What else happened? I'll read my script. Switching from the junior women to the junior men, the racing was intense. Some of the fastest junior times we have ever seen at the World Cups. And the battle is between Jackson Goldston and Jordan Williams. They battled all last year and this year is no different. And at this race, it was Jordan that took the win at his home event. But Jackson was not far behind. He was actually up at the splits, and then we've heard from his mechanic that he made a mistake just before the lower section of the track, which lost him about a second, and at the finish, it was Jordan that took it by 0.038, I think it was. Super close time.
Honestly, dream come true. I said it when I spoke to you the other day, and yeah, my dream has come true there. I'm so stoked, honestly. Yeah, I thought it wasn't my best, to be honest. I made a few mistakes, and then I tried to pull a tear off at the deer gate, and it didn't work. So I was like flying through the woods, and then I just like I've never been in so much pain on the pedal. It's I just went for it. Yeah.
On the line, that's so sick.
Yeah, I've got no words. It's just, yeah, so good. Thank you.
In the elite women's race, none of the top contenders had ever won a World Cup in Fort William before. So it was going to be really interesting to see who would seize the opportunity. And at this event, it was Nina Hoffman. Super cool to see her taking that. In the elite men's race, it was super hectic. There were big crashes, there were lots of mechanicals, derailleurs getting ripped off, people unable to pedal and having to speed tuck down the motorway. But when it all came to the end, it was Commencal muck-off riders Thibaut Deprella and Amaury Pierron that took 2nd and 1st with some really tight times. It looked like it was Amaury's power down that bottom section, laying down the horsepowers, claiming a little bit more time that sealed him the win. Interesting fact is that is Amaury Pierron's 3rd win on the trot for Fort William World Cups. And that's something I don't think has been done before in the men's category. Also, interesting fact, he switched from a mixed wheel bike to a full 29er for this race because it's super high speed and super rough, and he wasn't the only rider to do it. So everyone watching, you know me, you know that I love trying to figure out when things go wrong, why and all that. Well, I saw something that went wrong. Laurie Greenland on a stormer of a run. He was up on Pierron by over a second just above this wood section, and he came down into the famous World Cup woods, got to the last turn before the drop over the road and stalled, lost all the speed, got on the gas, had to yank the bike off the step down, and you could already tell he'd lost time. I was like, that's it, his advantage is gone. And when he came through the splits, he was back on the splits, didn't have the power for the motorway, and at the finish, he was about a second down and Pierron slotted into 3rd place. Still, super impressive run, but if this hadn't happened, he might have had the win. But let me show you what went wrong. Let's look at this bit, because it's not nice. Oh, Oh, whoa! Disgusting! So this section of track was hidden from the camera's view. You couldn't really see what was going on. So let's show you what happened. So they come through this section, last left-hander, and the original line was down the right-hand side of the track, as you can see here. And there used to be a little bit of a berm down into that step down across the road. It's fine. You'd ride down, ride the berm, plop off the drop. Job's a good one. But then what happens is the dirt there is super soft and it's been really wet over this weekend, and there's a rock slab in the ground that is off camber. So as riders would come in, they would brake, slip on the rock a little bit, and it would just start cutting into the dirt. And it would happen again, rider after rider after rider, about 250 riders doing multiple runs. That's thousands of bikes cutting away at this bank. And it's just turned it into a right angle. Like, even on the shortest bike with the smallest wheels, you would struggle to follow the line that is in that dirt right now. So what riders had to start doing was they started having to set up high on the roots up here and then try to straight line the start of the rut across the off-camber rock slab and just catch the edge of the rut. Very tricky to do. Lots of slippy roots in here. Riders are really fatigued after a long run. It's so tight. So anyway, Laurie and Phoebe both got their balance a little wrong, or they slipped a little more than they expected to, put them off balance. They had to brake, and then that's it. Time lost. Laurie managed to get over the drop and he managed to keep going. Phoebe, not so lucky, didn't manage to get over the drop. Super unfortunate for her, but again, she got second place. So these riders are on fire, but this section is particularly tricky. I mean, I don't know if you saw the preview run, but I nearly had a huge, like I had to pedal wheelie off it and I cased the crap out of it. But yeah, that's what happened. That was my story of the race. What was your story? Did you see anything cool that we missed? You can tell everyone down in the comments, and that's it, Port William. We're done, we're checking out, gonna go home, see my family. Then off to Austria. Leo gang. Woo! Nah, 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 nah. You want to do this? Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Just like that. And that's an outro.